Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX.
After a recap of Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens getting destroyed last week by the Bloodline, and Owens attacking / gouging Tangaloa's eye, we cut to Nick Aldis telling Solo that the Bloodline are going to have to forfeit their entry in the Tag Team Gauntlet later, as half their team is injured, i.e. Lower. Sikoa then tells Aldis that we have other members of the Bloodline that can step in. Now for a minute I thought we was going to be introduced to yet another family member, but luckily we weren't. Solo was referring to Jacob Fatu. Aldis was fine with this, so the Bloodline tag team will be made up of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
The first match of the night is LA Knight against Santos Escobar. Elektra Lopez with Escobar. Escobar controlled the match, even pulling off a 619 and a double knees which got him a 2 count. A tilt-a-whirl backbreaker gets Santos another 2 count. Now it's Knight's turn to attack by pulling off a DDT which gets him a 2 count. Knight then hits a big power slam on Escobar and heads to the top rope. As he does, Lopez gets on the apron near the announcer's table and distracts the ref. While she does, Logan Paul gets on the apron opposite and takes a swing at Knight. Knight ducks it and clotheslines Paul off onto the floor. Knight turns back towards Escobar, who gets Knight in position for the Phantom Driver. Knight reverses this, hits blunt force trauma and covers Santos for the win.
Yeah.
As Knight's music hits to signify his victory, Logan Paul gets back in the ring and attacks Knight. Santos Escobar then joins Paul and they both beat on Knight. Paul finishes off Knight with a huge frog splash from the top rope. I'm thinking possible interference from Escobar and SummerSlam match.
I am as well. We then hear from Naomi being interviewed by Saxxy, as in Byron Saxton. He asks why she thinks Blair Davenport attacked her. No idea, but she's going to feel the glow, replies Naomi. We then see Jade Cargill looking like a disco ball and Bianca Belair heading to the ring looking for a match against Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn.
Back from the break, and Byron Saxton asks Logan Paul about what just happened with LA Knight in the ring. Paul replies that was just a little appetizer and that he's got a big surprise for Knight at SummerSlam.
Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are next up, and after making their way to the ring, call out Fyre and Dawn to put their tag titles on the line. Cargill and Belair are attacked from behind by the tag champs as they were looking back up the entranceway. Belair gets Dawn into the KOD, but Dawn grabs the top rope and pulls herself to safety and down to the outside. Fyre isn't so lucky. Cargill picks her up and Gorilla Press throws her over the top rope and onto Dawn. This scuffle sets up a women's tag team title match next week on SmackDown.
Backstage we see the Street Profits getting ready to participate in the upcoming tag team gauntlet match. While doing so, they say hello to Terence Crawford, just so you know he's there.
We then see Tiffany Stratton in the locker room holding her battered Money in the Bank briefcase. It's being held together by what looks like Naomi glow tape. Nia Jax says she'll get Stratton a new case. All Stratton wants though is revenge on Bayley.
Next up is the Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Gauntlet match. Starting us off is Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin against Angel Garza and Berto of Legado del Fantasma. Although Fantasma control most of the match and Garza sets up Apollo for a wing clipper, Crews manages to escape and tag in Corbin, who hits End of Days on Garza and pins him. With the Legacy team eliminated, it was the Street Profits' turn.
After a lot of dodging and acrobatics between these two teams, a suplex by Dawkins gets him a 2 count on Crews. A double team on Apollo ends his and Corbin's run in this tournament though, with Ford pinning Crews and sending them packing.
Next out to join the fray is Pretty Deadly. Kit Wilson trying 3 pin attempts on Dawkins straight away, but to no avail. Pretty Deadly managed to keep Ford in the corner for what seems an age, really working him over. Ford manages to eventually make the tag, but as with Ford, Dawkins finds himself in Pretty Deadly's corner and unable to get away. As much as they try though, Pretty Deadly can't get it over the line, and the blockbuster on Elton Prince and a subsequent pin by Ford knocked Pretty Deadly out of the gauntlet.
The OC are out next, Ford looking shattered and taking the brunt of the offence. 2 quick pin attempts only gets the OC 2 counts, with Ford barely kicking out. Anderson then hits a spinebuster on Dawkins for a 2 count. The OC then set up Dawkins for their finisher, but Ford grabs Anderson's leg from the outside. This then allows Dawkins to roll up Gallows for the pin and thus eliminating the OC.
Last team out, the Bloodline. Good luck, Street Profits. Ford is nowhere to be seen, so Dawkins is singled out and destroyed. The Street Profits manage a micro fight back with Ford hitting a crossbody on Tonga for a 2 count. But of course, it's all for nothing as Fatu Samoan drops Ford and then moonsaults him off the top rope and pins him for the victory. The Bloodline will be facing DIY for the WWE Tag Team titles next week on SmackDown.
Back from the break, we have Grayson Waller and Austin Theory calling out Terence Crawford to the ring. They blame him for their loss to Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens last week, even though Crawford had nothing to do with the actual tag match. Crawford did give Rhodes a chair last week to help him deal with Waller and Theory, but that wasn't during the tag match. Anyway, they want an apology. Crawford does make an appearance, gets in the ring, listens to Waller give it the big one, and then ends up hitting Theory.
Next we hear from Cody Rhodes, who's over in Japan. He says he's had to watch his allies fall by the wayside. Orton, Owens, and that's it. Rhodes then challenges Solo to meet him in the ring next week on SmackDown, face to face, 1-on-1.
Back from the break, we have Andrade and Carmelo Hayes organising another match between themselves.
Final match of the night, Bayley and Michin versus Tiffany Stratton and Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax.
No crown again.
Michin makes her way out first. As she approaches the ring, she gets attacked from behind by Jax and Stratton. Bayley finally runs down, kendo stick in hand to help her out, but the damage has already been done to Michin, with Stratton and Jax scattering. The match begins as a handicap match, Bayley doing well to begin with, taking the fight to the Money in the Bank winner and Queen of the Ring. Michin even manages to finally get up on the apron, but Jax sees this, goes over to her and Samoan drops her to the floor. Jax and Stratton now dismantle Bayley and keep trying to pin her, but Bayley isn't the champion for nothing. She keeps kicking out. Michin again makes her way to the ring apron and finally gets tagged in, spiking Stratton and covering her for a 2 count. Bayley then drops the Macho Man elbow on Jax after both women were tagged in and goes for the pin, but Jax kicks out on 2 with help from Stratton breaking up the pin. The ref then decides to get distracted by Michin, who's on the apron, with Bayley going over to Stratton. Stratton clobbers Bayley with the Money in the Bank briefcase. With Bayley out of it, Jax drags her over to the corner and proceeds to annihilate her and then sit on her for the win.
The show closes with the Bloodline. Solo sitting at a table surrounded by his motley crew. Solo agrees to meet Cody in the ring next week, and in one weekend the Bloodline will handle family business. The tag belts on Friday and the undisputed title on the Saturday night. And if Roman Reigns has a problem with that, he knows where to find me. Not me, obviously, Solo Sikoa. Now, for me, the full heel arc has now been achieved, I feel.
Okay.
Calling out Roman, the man that he's dispossessed, it is circle complete for me. You might think it's the belt, but the belt's a bonus. Because I think Solo's obviously wants the belt, but I think his whole intention was to take control, which he has done. And he's actually now said, Roman, you want me, you come and get me.
Yeah, fair. Yeah.
You know, as I say, the belt's a bonus. Anyone can win that, but this is, you know, it's a family affair.
Yeah.
This is, but Roman at SummerSlam is 100% on.
I mean,
I do not think there's any doubt about that.
I don't think it's no doubt. No,
I think that's it. But I can't wait for some of like Slam predictions on Wednesday. It's just so
much to talk about.
Oh,
so
unbelievable!
Much.
Thank you again for watching.
And we'll see you on Tuesday for our Raw review.
But the predictions will be funnier.